Hello, it's Colette from the Sacred Rose Temple, and I'm here to talk to you about my new podcast series. I've been sitting on this for quite some time, and today I managed to do an amazing interview with such an inspirational woman. And I decided that today was the day that I was going to launch and share with you this whole new idea I've had of interviewing in a different way, really, in a way that asks and invites women in to discuss their life as the myth. As you all know, I've been deeply involved with Jungian psychology over the last 7 years and really immersed myself in the mythical journey, having been involved with courses for self development as well as coaching, certification, Magnus Opus application, working with a Jungian psychologist for over the last 7 years and being in groups of dream analysis and studying and going to lectures in all that I've immersed myself within the depth psychological world. And I really feel that the fusion of psychology with my spirituality, I didn't coin it myself, but I started to use the word psycho-spiritual some 7 years ago because it really felt like that was the path that my work was on. And so I want to bring that alive for all women to understand that when they talk about themselves, they're really talking about this mythical journey. We as children were brought up on stories like Cinderella and Snow White, and we were enchanted by them all. But the reason the soul gets enchanted by myth is because really the fairy story, the myth, has got a deep map for our own psyche, and it's often mimicking something in our own world. I had the revelation when I did the first year of Magnus Opus that I was, in fact, Dorothy from The Wizard of Oz. And I'd loved that myth, that film more than any other as a child. And it became apparent to me as why. And so I realized that all stories were quite mythical, really. Our lives were mythical. And could we identify the myth? Could we identify the parts that make a myth? So this series is called Women as the Living Myth, and it's a series of conversation with women whose lives carry a story, an archetype, a symbol, and a deeper meaning. Not that I don't believe all women's lives hold this, because I absolutely do, but maybe there are some women who've been able to really identify that their life is mythical, or I've been able to identify that for them within my work. And this podcast is out there to allow you as a woman to see whether when these women share their stories that you can identify that you are in fact a woman living in myth. Myth, fairy story is not separate. It's not something that is not ordinary life. It really truly is. When we look at the stories, Cinderella, she's a woman that is cleaning her kitchen for the stepmom, and a father is disconnected from an inherited family. They really do reflect real life. And what they show us is the patterns beneath our life, the thresholds that we cross in life, the wounds that we carry, the initiations that shape us and bring us forward deeper into the heroine's journey, and the symbols that come through our body, mind, and soul and through the beloved to show us that we're on this mythical journey. And I really think it's important for women to understand the archetypes that they embody. And you will see that through this series of interviews, that the archetypes start to pop out in conversation. So I invite you always under each video to write, as you're listening to the interview, the archetype that's coming out of this woman that she might not even realize. So one of the archetypes that came out of the interview I did today was the death doula. And I don't think this particular woman had realized that that was an archetype within her psyche that was trying to be seen. So there's some archetypes that will come up in the interviews that the women do not see, and that's new to them. And then there will be archetypes that they already know, that they embody, that they're already living. So it's really exciting to do these interviews. When we listen to another woman's story, we begin to recognize our own story, and we can hear that no matter what we project on people, whether they're a duchess, a queen, a princess, a maiden, a shopkeeper, whatever archetype comes out, that they're really important. And they're really important because we hear things like loss, love, power, silence, exile, longing, rebuilding, becoming, and suddenly something waking up inside of us saying, I am on this heroine's journey and I'm being led by spirit and the divine. And that is what is similar in every single woman's journey that I've listened to. So in each interview, I will be trying to make clear the story of the woman. I will guide the woman to acknowledge her thresholds, the descents that she has made, the wounds that she's been holding, and the very medicine that she can take to help herself through the wounds. We'll also really be identifying the foundational archetype that lives within her, but uncovering some of the hidden unconscious archetypes that live within her. And then again, the symbols that come through as a guide for her in her life. Today's one held so much power for me. It gave me really deep connection to a symbol that I held dear and an understanding of why I'd related to this woman and connected to this woman. So this is really such deep work. I hope that we'll uncover many archetypes in the length of time this podcast has its libido and life, and things like the queen, the wise woman, the creatrix, the Persephone, the maiden. It's going to cover a whole range of archetypes so that we as women can understand that there's many facets to us, many facets to us. So I'm really looking forward to sharing this first podcast next week. I will be sharing that live and on my YouTube channel, and it will be sent out in my email. So if you're not on my email list, make sure you go to templedelarose.com and sign up. The videos will be sent out there. Or subscribe my YouTube channel and you will get them directly there. And I please ask you to share these videos. I think it's really important for women to understand that we often project greatness or the heroine's journey on other people rather than accept that it lives within ourselves. So I'm hoping that this kind of does that. I'm also giving you a shout out to women who feel that they would like to be a guest on my podcast. I have already a whole collection of incredible women that are lined up to be interviewed. And I would love if you feel that this resonates for you to be part of the interview. And what I would do is send you a short questionnaire to try to activate the archetypes within you, draw out some symbology, and get the deeper story about yourself. So the process of coming onto the interview is really a journey into finding more about yourself archetypally and more about yourself mythologically. Isn't that amazing? So I just want to say welcome to this whole temple space that I'm opening up. I'm super excited to bring some fresh energy into the Sacred Rose Temple and to have and give a platform for so many amazing women. And so please make sure that you are part of the sisterhood, that you like, that you share, that you comment, that you come and tell me about women I should interview, or in fact, put yourself forward. It's time that the feminine was really rising and that we were proclaiming that and advocating and sharing that wherever we can. So really looking forward to conversing with you in the next coming year as I really delve into the mythology of women. So take care for now and speak to you very soon.